What's going on, people? This is your boy Say One History on None Dare Call It Conspiracy here, back with another episode, and we are going to dig in deep today and just give you some insight and then ultimately have a conversation about the fringe, the stuff that people don't want to talk about even within the UFO community, kind of like we touched on the other day here. Like we always do, we're going to go ahead and announce everybody, all the major players that are on the board today. Starting with myself, I am Say One History. We have none other than Chanel the Skeptic. And then we have, of course, our resident co-host, the true Israelite. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the true Israelite here. And we're going to jump straight into it, man. I mean, we actually got on some serious debate the other day. And I remember we were talking a lot about the demons and the actual aliens and UFOs and how that coexist and how they form together here. And I was surprised at all of the open-mindedness that we actually, the open-minded people that we actually received on the show that day. I thought we were going to get a lot of negative responses, like I usually do when we talk about stuff like this. But my perspective is that everything we claim to know is only what's the word I'm looking for, guys? It's only a theory. So for you to come out and say that you absolutely know about something from bones or something from a book, you can't really say that. So for me, everything is on the table. Everything that we talk about is on the table until we get someone that's back from 1 billion years ago that watched the earth form or something like that, because we just don't know for certain. And a lot of times we end up getting stuff wrong. So that's where these theories come into play. That's where we can talk about stuff like this. So let's actually move forward here. I wanted to actually go ahead and speak in regards to how this show actually started here, how it began. And it began with me actually just going on to Google and doing a search for different theories and conspiracy theories. And I came across a book that literally, the title of it was called None Dare Call It Conspiracy, hence the name to the actual show. So, and I would recommend that everyone go and check out this book. You can literally download it for free on Google. And that was the purpose. It wasn't like somebody actually stole this book, printed it onto the YouTube or printed it onto Google, and then actually, start giving it away for free. No, that was the intention all along from the author that created this. So big shots out to him. Definitely go ahead and check it out whenever you get a chance. You can download it. It's completely free. It's called None Dare Call It Conspiracy. And if you're a person like me who seeks the truth and wants to know the truth, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent here, this is definitely going to be a good read for you. And I tell you what, you might not like some of the stuff that you're actually going to read in here. And I'll tell you that from my personal perspective, just listening to the stuff or reading the stuff that I've actually read in this particular book, and then going and discerning stuff for myself and doing research, it literally makes you sick. I can tell you that you don't want to go to bed after reading this. It makes you that sick. And it's just like, the book that we're actually going to be talking about today, that Chanel got me. Thank you again, babe. It's actually called Majestic 12. Or the Majestic 12, right? And we'll get into those documents. And then the true Israelite was actually talking about one specifically that he really hit me to, and I still haven't got the opportunity to check it out. But what was the name of that one?
Behold a Pale Horse. The author is William Cooper.
William Cooper wrote that?
William Cooper wrote that book, Behold a Pale Horse. And when that book was published, he was assassinated because all his peers and some government agents said it's okay while you're writing it, but once it published, it's not good, because every page is a top secret document. It also talks about the UFOs, the reverse engineering. In the first chapter, it talks about the Illuminati and the control system. The book is deep. If you guys ever get a chance, go check it out, rent it. You look him up on YouTube, buy that book. It is a must read. And you're not going to like some of the content in that book because it touches off on all spectrums. I mean, when I first started reading the book, it almost gave me nightmares because it is just that deep.
Yeah, it'll definitely do that. I mean, if it's anything like None Dare Call It Conspiracy, which it sounds like it is, I think, you know, these two books that we're actually speaking in reference to will actually go ahead and give you an insight to why we are the way we are. And Chanel, if you can just kind of speak on the book. I know you don't really know too much, and you are the skeptic in reference to this particular topic. But the book that you had given me here, that you had bought me, what made you actually want to go ahead and get that particular book per se?
So I am the skeptic. I love ancient aliens. I like the guy with the crazy looking hair that's always looking like, whoo. I like him. Okay. He is awesome. And in the Ancient Alien series, which is on the History Channel, they it's also on Hulu. They talk about the Majestic 12 and the Majestic documents, and I just thought
they do get into that.
They get into that.
Oh.
They talk about the Akashic Record. They talk about all kinds of different ancient alien technology, and I just found it really interesting that not only were they talking about that, but there's actually a book that supports the things that they were talking about.
Oh, wow.
So there's actually actual documentation. And on Ancient Aliens, a lot of it is it's theories as well. They talk about the crystal skulls.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about like different vibration patterns can open wormholes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I am a skeptic. However, I do like the show too, because then you can actually go and see if what they're talking about is real.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where I am. I can listen to you all day long, but if I research it and I find out you're lying, you're lying.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I kind of heard you mention the Akashic Records, and I want you to go into that a little bit, because before you had mentioned it to me, I'd never heard about it at all. So I was really surprised to actually not have information on this, you know, since I deem myself the guru in reference to this particular stuff. Did you know about the Akashic Records?
Nah, I don't know about that. It's the first time I've heard about that.
Okay, so she is the skeptic, but today she is dropping some knowledge on us here. This is Chanel the Skeptic. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about that and what you found about the Akashic Records.
Hold on, I have to re-Google it. It's been a while. It's been a while since we talked about that.
No worries. Well, as she's actually Googling here, I'm actually going to go into this this book that I was gifted here. And I just went ahead and went online and made sure that I downloaded the information here so that I can share it with the world and show you guys here this book. And by the way, this book not only is in regards to what the author actually wrote about this particular book, and I think it's by God, I'm gonna have a hard time pronouncing his name. Jose S. Shields, or I don't know if that's pronounced Jose. Anyway, but as you go through this book, what you're gonna find in this book is pretty I wouldn't call it mysterious, but it's interesting because the book actually it shows the documents that they actually picked up and how they actually made this book. So not only are they giving you a book, but they're showing you real credible evidence coming from the CIA, the FBI, whoever else is involved in this stuff that's going on. And what's so funny about this is that as you start to scroll a little bit more into this book, you get the official seals and whatnot, which is great. But what else happens here is you start to notice, and I'm looking for one, shit gets blurred out. They get blacked out here. So I thought that was interesting, that you get the stuff that's blacked out, the real juicy stuff that you can't see. But what I found even more interesting is some of the files are burned. So instead of actually just going and saying, hey, you know, I'm going to actually, you know, not put this in that's burned, they put in all the evidence. They put in every detail, anything they could. And anything that was, you know, really not readable, they went ahead and rewrote it again. So how awesome is that?
That is awesome. See, in William Cooper's book, that whole book was put together from shredded files. It took him 10, 15 years to put that book together from shredded files. And trust me, none of the pages are burnt or blocked out. He gives it to you straight, raw, and uncut.
Now, give us kind of like a biopsy of William Cooper. I know about him. I remember there was something going on where he was in one of these underground bases, but I don't want to spoil it. So you tell us a little bit about that.
He was a Navy intelligence officer, and what prompted him to doing his research, he was on a submarine vessel out at sea, and he witnessed a unidentified flying object, an ETV, extraterrestrial vehicle. I don't call it extraterrestrial vehicle. I just call it Illuminati technology. It's just technology that the public hasn't seen because they have black projects, millions, billions of dollars. When you go on and watch these Hollywood movies, most of that money is going towards these black budget projects, drugs, etc. I don't want to get too much off into that, but he witnessed this awesome vehicle come up out of the water and take off at amazing speeds, and him and his crew recorded it, took pictures, recorded it, and some top government officials flew out, briefed him, took all their evidence, and he was wondering, who are these people? Because he thought there was nobody higher than him. Because once you become an intelligence officer, you have top secret clearance to pretty much almost anything. And he was wondering, who the heck are these people? He thought there was nobody really that high. So that's what prompted him to do his research. And what he did is he connected the dots between the Illuminati, extraterrestrials, and the government cover-ups, all in one.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is he the one that actually had the situation with his hand? Or is that a different guy? The one that says he...
That's Philip Schneider. That's Philip Schneider.
I'm getting them confused.
That's Philip Schneider. Philip Schneider is another awesome guy.
So this is the guy that was in Antarctica and that they were seeing the ships and they were told to leave, right? The spaceships.
No. So we're actually that's a guy. It's different. He was Admiral Byrd. No. You're fine. Admiral Byrd was actually involved in it was a mission to Antarctica, and it was right after World War II.
They were going to find Hitler's artifacts or something that Hitler had in.
Close. It wasn't his artifacts that they were actually going to find. They were going to find the last remaining people of the alt-right, and it was said that they actually are. I don't want to say alt-right. It's actually outright. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. I apologize for
Hitler's followers.
Hitler's followers. So when they went out there, they had the people in the high up. I don't want to say the soldiers knew, but the people in the high up knew, that wasn't all they were actually going to look for. It was said that they had bases out there, and apparently when they went out there, Admiral Byrd went out there with no less than a fleet. I mean, he went out there with a whole fleet out there, and they got pushed back by some kind of technology that we could not beat, is what was said here. And when I say it couldn't be beat, I mean it was flying, at like Mach 7. It was flying faster than Mach 7. The things were vanishing. Let's not get on the ice wall that people reportedly had saw up there. Let's talk about the planes that were actually there crashing into invisible things. It was just a lot of stuff. The whole that's there. And if you think we're crazy, if you think this stuff doesn't actually have any truth to it, I would advise you to actually go on to Google or go on to any type of NASA map and actually look up the map in real life, and then just see if you can actually go ahead and look down on Antarctica. I would ask you to do that and tell me what you find once you actually do that. Okay. Because it's very unlikely that you can actually go and look down in that section, because it's always blocked off. It's either has clouds up, or it's a situation where they're literally modifying it so that you can't see that particular area here. So, you know, this is why we have these theories. This is why we don't necessarily come to conclusions here, because we really don't have the information. The information is locked away. But I'm one of those people where, you know, if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, then it must be a duck, goddammit. But a lot of people don't share my same sentiment, and they always say, oh, this is crazy, or all these people are quacks, or they don't know what they're talking about, you know. But come on, people, you know, when's the last time you put on your shoe and said to yourself, you know, it was a size 9, and then you say, well, I don't know if this is really a shoe because it doesn't fit my feet. That doesn't make any sense. And it's kind of the same. I'm using a horrible analogy, but it's really the same thing, because you're basically looking at this evidence to suggest that this is true. You're looking at the shoe, but you're saying it's not what you see it to be. So I don't know, man. I'm just I'm one of those people. I'm just like, grow the fuck up. Grow up. Start paying attention. Stop being so damn afraid of things that you don't understand. There are tons of things that we don't understand, and there are things that we are just not going to understand. We are not the center of the universe. And I mean, there are more intelligent beings that are out there, people. It's just the fact of the matter. I mean, when I actually heard that there were more stars and planets in the universe than there was grains of sand on the earth, I knew at that point that we weren't alone. You can't have more stars in the universe than there is grains of sand on the earth and not expect for there to be human or non-human life somewhere out there. It's just it's mathematically impossible. You can't do that. The numbers don't add up. So if you're looking for evidence that there is life out there, I mean, take it on that account. But with that being said, did you find the...
Yeah, so the Akashic Record is basically, it's all of the knowledge of the past, the present, and the future. It's all human emotion. It's all energy. It's all everything that's ever happened on the planet is recorded. And basically, it goes along with a theory that nothing is new. Everything has already been done before. You just have to tap into it in a form of meditation to walk this
that
kind
is,
of astral
not to cut
plane.
you off, but that is also said in the Bible. Also, there is nothing new under the sun. Yes, Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9.
Okay.
Okay,
Anyway,
now let's
we're going back this way. Okay. So I like to look at things like this because, as you know, I don't have religion. I don't believe in anything but myself, me, myself, and I, because that's who's here. That's who holds it down. That's who makes it happen. And without me, nothing is possible. Anyway,
okay.
So I looked into this, and this actually goes into Hinduism and Buddhism. It goes into meditation and the walking astral planes. It goes into, you know, a different realm. But it's just, it was interesting to find. It was interesting to kind of look at. It's just that kind of stuff. I'm more one of those tactile people. Like, I like the Rosetta Stone. Like, it actually exists with all these languages on it.
Now,
actual real thing.
You know what I thought was interesting about the information that you were just talking about is that we kind of see that already today. What's the name of it again? The Akashic Records, you were saying?
The Akashic Record.
So, have you ever noticed, and you can say yes or no, it doesn't matter, and I'm asking True Israelite, and I'm asking Chanel the Skeptic this too. Have you guys ever noticed, and I'm asking the viewer out there, so you guys can chime in, leave a comment, and let me know if you guys notice this. I'm just theorizing on this one. Have you guys ever noticed that you have an idea, okay, and then You sit on that idea. You don't really do anything with it, but you know it's a good idea. You know it's a situation where you can potentially make money, or on top of that, it's going to revolutionize the world. You see it happening, you can feel it, you know it's going to happen. And then you actually just go online or you go somewhere and you check it out, and it just so happens that someone else in a whole different part of the world had that same idea, and they did something with it. And you said, damn it, if I would have just moved on it a little bit faster, that could have been my money. Have you guys ever had that happen to you?
No, I'm not a creator.
Okay, have you ever had anything like that happen to you, where you had a situation where you thought about something and then you had saw somebody else give you that same information? No. Wow.
That means that we're all connected. All our human consciousness are connected, but we don't realize it. That's why stuff like that happens.
Well, I'm kind of thinking of the Akashic Records, and it's kind of true what you were saying too, because what happens is it's almost like there's this cloud. We can think of it like the iCloud. There's this cloud of information that's hanging.
That's basically what it is. It's a cloud.
Okay, well, there's a cloud of information that's hanging above us, okay? We have this cloud of information, and the information is selected to go to certain people. And if the person that they originally send it to doesn't do what they're supposed to do with that information is not specific to you. It can actually go to somebody else that's going to use it here. And it seems like it always happens in twos, maybe threes if you're lucky, but twos and threes, it seems it comes down in. And there's been way too many situations, because before I actually started doing podcasting and shows and stuff like that, I did music, and there were too many times where I would come up with a musical idea, and it would be taken. And God damn it, I swear that Kanye workout song was mine. That was mine, Kanye. I made that song. It was different. It was called the workout plan. It's called Get Your Workout On.
And see, that's when you say the idea comes out in twos and threes. Something didn't take off.
I'm telling you, I made the song. Did. I got it right now. I'll let you guys listen anyway.
No, please don't.
Anyway, I made the song. I'm telling you, it came out before Kanye was even known. But with that being said, yeah, man, I mean, it's a situation. I do feel like there's some relevance to it. Is it true or not? I don't know, man. I really don't know. That's the whole point.
They talk about that on Ancient Aliens, that in the Akashic record they do, like, people are able to tap into it through meditation, and 2 or 3 people get the same idea. And it's like with Thomas Edison, they were showing that Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla had the same idea, and then they were going on who got to it first.
Right. And
that's what it all comes down to. And they go back to someone robbed someone of a patent, but they both had the idea at the same exact time on the planet, so who does it really belong to?
Right.
So that's what it comes down to.
And just like you said, it goes back to Nikola Tesla days. I mean, there were a few different scientists that had actually, and inventors that had came out with the same exact thing, but it's just that the person that moved the fastest was able to actually come out with it first. Now, it wasn't the case with Nikola Tesla, because Nikola Tesla literally moved the fastest. He was the workhorse, but there are people in this world that take advantage of our ideas and misuse us. And I think that's what happened with Nikola Tesla here. And who was it? Was it Thomas Edison? Thomas Edison actually took his information and basically screwed him royally. And in the end, Nikola Tesla invented all this great stuff that we enjoy till this day. I mean, you're actually talking to me and looking at me right now through technology that Nikola Tesla paved the way on how to actually build. And if you want more information on that, I would advise you to actually go and check out his Spirit Radio, and that'll actually freak you the hell out too if you actually want to look at something that's pretty damn scary. I want to actually read up on this a little bit here, on this book since we're actually kind of like all over the place now, but I want to read up on it so I can actually just give you the introduction on how this book was formed, since I actually introduced you on how this actual show was created. So I'm going to actually do that. It says, during the years after World War II, the United States had not only the best economy, but also the most advanced technology. The highest standard of living exerted the most influence, and fielded the largest and most powerful military force in the history of the world. The nation had just won the bloodiest and most costly war in history, and had developed used, and were the only nation on earth to possession of the atomic bomb. Okay, which alone had the potential to destroy any enemy. It was then that a stunned President Truman and our top military commander discovered that after various military sightings of unidentified flying objects on July 2nd, 1947, obviously an extraterrestrial spacecraft had crashed near Roswell Army Air Base, New Mexico. A series of secret operations began to recover the wreckage and to cover up the incident. Between July 1947 and December 1952, 4 additional alien craft crashed to Earth, and a total of up to 9 alien bodies were discovered. Sightings of UFOs became so numerous that serious investigation and debunking of each report became impossible using the existing intelligence assets. Coincidentally, the top secret operation Majestic 12 was established by order of President Harry S. Truman on September 24th of 1947 to take charge of the various aspects of the crashed UFOs and the alien occupants that were recovered. Majestic 12 was a permanent committee consisting of 12 members set up inside the National Security Council. In December 1947, an elite group of top scientists was organized under the name Project Sign for intense study of the phenomenon. Project Sign evolved into Project Grudge. In December of 1948, a low-level collection and disinformation project named Blue Book was formed under Grudge. So what they're basically saying in a nutshell is that a whole bunch of these projects actually formed into the project that we actually all know about now, which is Project Blue Book. But the thing that we don't know about is that Project Blue Book was actually not an information project. It wasn't a project that we were supposed to be enlightened with. It was a project of how do you say it? Disinformation. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Man, I lost for words. I'm moving too fast, you guys.
But the crazy thing about that is that started after the Roswell crash, which was on in June 1947. In June. So right after that, 6 months later, we got this project up in the air.
Right.
And we get all this technology.
Right. And a lot of people actually say that too. I kind of watch movies and I look at those and I wonder, what's going on and stuff. But there was this one movie that kind of really set me off. And I mean set me off to kind of make me wonder. My bad.
July 8th. Let me take that back. June, July, December.
Yeah, because these people will murder you on
I
here.
know. Okay. Google wasn't my friend at that moment. Don't get mad.
But I was watching this movie, and I think it was called not Hoodlum. It was called Hoodlum.
Oh, that's my movie right there.
Okay, you heard of Hoodlum?
Yes,
Y'all both heard of Hoodlum?
Yes.
Good movie. Check that out. Hoodlum. I was watching it. And in the beginning of the movie, it comes on, and then it has Lawrence Fishburne in it. And he's talking to, I believe it was, I can't think of the gentleman's name or whatever, but it was Bumpy Johnson's boss, okay? And Bumpy Johnson's boss was walking into a store, and it was like an electronics store, and he's looking all around, and he says, look at this, look at all this stuff. He says, the bad thing about all this stuff is they're cutting out the middleman. They're cutting out the middleman, and you have to, what happened to, now you have to go, like, you can go directly to the person instead of actually going through the middleman, and it's making it harder for us businesses or small businesses to get by and do things and make money for our community. He said, where did this technology even come from? He says, one day, he said, we're warming up our irons on the stove. The next day, we're microwaving stuff with molecules or something like that. And I looked up that information, and it literally happened within a time span of less than a year. So if you think about that, just think about that time in history. We have a time where technology, when I say it boomed, technology boomed. And I don't mean like this bullshit iPhone that comes out and we actually get the latest update every 6 months, or iPhone comes out with a new phone and it's virtually the same thing, but they just added a few other features. I'm talking about technology. We were sending people into space. We had situations where we were microwaving or heating up things with molecules, or with different waves, with microwaves. We had different technology that we were talking about. It was called 0-point energy, and we were initially talking about that. And it was a commonplace thing to actually have a conversation about at that particular time. But the government came in and they closed it up, and people just stopped talking about it all of a sudden. And that's something you can look up too. That's vetted, so definitely check that out, and you can find that yourself too. But and now we have this day and age where the technology that we had originally come out with in the 40s and the 50s, we're still using. We're just finding better ways to use it. So where is the new technology? Why are we still on fossil fuels? Why are we actually still using wires to connect gadgets? Why are we using circuit boards? Why are we still using this stuff? There's more that we are learning. There's different planets that we are going to. There's information that we are finding out here, and it's being kept from the public that we don't know about. I was looking at this new information that just came out. Bob Lazar was actually just speaking in reference to this. He just came out after like 25-30 years of being in seclusion, of not talking about this UFO event, because quite frankly, every time this man talks about it, his life is brought into shambles. He has people coming to his house threatening him. He has his car doors being open when he actually comes to his car to get in his car. People are going into his house and moving things. I mean, anytime he talks about this stuff, it just gets ridiculous for him. So, you know, and he talked about this stuff. He talked about actually stepping into UFO or alien craft. He actually talked about working close by Broomfield or Area 51. He said it wasn't called Area 51. He said he actually worked. He said he actually worked at S1, I believe it was here. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know how we are not putting the pieces together and understanding what's going on. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, man?
Cover-ups.
But why
on a mass scale? They don't want nobody to know. They're scared. They don't want nobody to know.
Do you think it would be in regards to, like, maybe the technology would be too advanced, or what do you think?
What was the question? Sorry.
I don't think the technology. Well, the technology is very advanced. I think they want to get rid of a whole bunch of people and then come out with the technology to fix all the problems.
What was the question?
You know what? I'm sorry, I can't. Well, we were actually talking about just why this information is so secretive. Is it actually in our best interest, or are they trying to hide something from us that can potentially awaken us?
When has the government ever had humanity's best interest in mind? When?
It's very true.
Even when they created vaccines, they failed before they were successful. They killed lots of people before they were successful. They injected people with Lyme disease. They did like all kind of horrible stuff.
Tuskegee Airman, I remember that specifically.
Like, even I believe AIDS is man-made.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Behold a Pale Horse, William Cooper, he talks about that. It only took $10 million in 1974 to start that project. By 1975, it was up and running. What they did
now,
when
what
they tested
are we talking about?
This is the World Health Organization for the AIDS and cancer program for depopulation purposes. And when it was successful, what they did is they put HIV and AIDS in the smallpox vaccinations, took it to Africa, eradicated smallpox, but gave them AIDS. But one problem, people weren't really that promiscuous then. So, you know, it was only transferred to husband and wife or wife to husband. So what they did is they waited to, I say about the 80s and 90s to really get it cracking.
I think it was more so the 70s, because that's when everything came out and people were doing the psychedelic drugs and stuff like that. So right around that time is when they came out, and
the heroin and all that was big.
That's exactly, and they put it in the drugs. So all you people out there snorting powder and doing these crazy drugs, yes, they put it in the drugs. All it takes is a biochemist.
Did you taste some that had some stuff? No, obviously not.
No,
here we go.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm being skeptical. I don't know about that.
I'm not a drug user.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't
This
know
is what this book is saying, and William Cooper is the truth, and I don't think he would lie about that.
Okay, but if he would,
I don't think he would lie about that. He wouldn't lie about that.
You don't think.
And if it was a lie, he would still be alive.
That's not necessarily
He
true
would still
either.
be alive because he would still be alive because people that lie, they're living. If you tell the truth about something real serious, oh yeah, you're a goner.
Now let me ask you this: how did he die? Was he the?
What they did is they some people were partying on his property, and they said that he came out threatening them with a gun. The police were dispatched to his home. There was an altercation between him and the police officer. He shot one of the cops in the head with a .38. He shot one of the dudes in the head who was trying to kill him, but then, you know, they the popo. So, you know, the popos could call for backup, and, you know, they swarmed him.
Right.
And what nationality is he?
He's white. He's a white guy.
Now check this out too. I wanted to.
That's what tripped me out.
That's what I'm saying. They don't kill their own, yo.
Now, come on, y'all. Come on in.
Yeah, they do kill their own if you telling the truth about something. You'll be a goner. It don't matter.
It's not a black or white thing. It's actually truth against lies. I believe that's honestly what it is here. But I wanted to actually go ahead and bring this up here because it's kind of what we were talking about on the nail. It says maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. One of the other rules were guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. So what do you guys think about that?
Is that the Georgia Guidestone?
It is.
The Georgia Guidestone, yeah. That's what they want, because they want to reduce the population because people are more controllable. When you could reduce the population to that low, you could control the rest of the masses with food. Everybody would be controlled with food easily.
You know, one thing about the stone that just it's gonna sound really, really stupid, but like, you know, I've seen the stone before. I heard no one knows where it comes from. It's all, we don't know, but this is what it's saying. Oh, we all gonna die off. Everybody get all freaked out and stuff. But I think, like, when I seen the Avengers movie with Thanos, all I could think about was that stone, because he literally wanted to wipe out half the population everywhere.
You know what? That's funny you say that. There's probably some subliminal messaging in that movie.
That's the only thing that I can think of. That's what it
is subliminal messaging in the movie. And if you guys don't think for 1 second that they're not putting this information in the movies that we watch on a daily basis, you're really kidding yourself. And that's just how I feel. I could be wrong. Again, I'm just giving you my theory on it. But I absolutely believe. And again, I don't just throw out theories out there. I want to back it up with some evidence here. So what I want to do is I want to actually go to YouTube and see if I can actually find this this video of Will Smith talking. And Will Smith is actually talking about how the information is absolutely coming from, you know, our government or our secret government or whatever you want to call it here. And he was just basically casually saying, where do you think we get this stuff for these movies? Where do you think it comes from? So I'm gonna look that up here.
I'm a believer in that. I think a lot of the movies, even legends, have fact to them. Stories come somewhere. Legends, whether they're good or bad, they come from somewhere. I don't believe they just come out of someone's head.
What do you think, T?
Yeah, these movies that we watching are definitely ideas that people have thought of or possibly plan out. Without a shadow of a doubt.
So yeah, here it is. I believe it's this one. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and try to play this really quick, and hopefully, it's the one. It's the one I'm thinking it is here. But here we go. I'll go ahead and play it for you. Let me make sure it plays first. All right, let's get it rolling.
Getting a tour, and you know, Barack and Michelle and Sasha and Malia, and it's me and Jada and the kids, and we're walking through the White House. And the night before, Jaden had said to me, Dad, I got to ask the president about the aliens, you know, I was like, dude.
Oh no, I cut it off. I'm sorry, you guys.
That opportunity.
He knows. No, you don't.
Yeah, because he's your son, so all you do is go, oh, I'm sorry.
I was like,
answer the question.
Jaden, do not ask the president. So we get into the situation room, and Jaden gets the look in his eyes, and he leans over, he says, Dad, what's my punishment? And I was like, Jaden, do not. So he looks, and, you know, Barack is talking about this situation room, and Jaden says, excuse me, Mr. President. And I was like, hey, Barack, man, hey, listen, Jaden. And Barack said, don't tell me. And in perfect form, like this is why he's the president, he stopped and looked at Jaden and said, the aliens, right? And I was like, oh, shoot. And he said, okay, I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of extraterrestrials, but I can tell you if there had been a top secret meeting and if there would have had to have been a discussion about it, it would have taken place in this room.
Oh!
And Jaden was like,
that's big.
He's like, I told you, Dad, I told you it's aliens. I'm like, dude.
See, now he's going to watch Men in Black 3 and think it's a fly-on-the-wall documentary about his dad.
And is he still grounded then from that incident?
Yeah, no. He's got about 8 or 9 more months.
Okay.
You know, embarrassing for the president.
But you should look into this. You got to find out.
Come on, man.
Do you want to find out?
Listen, here's the deal.
Aliens.
I know. I have the top secret information. I just can't share it. You don't think I've made all of these movies and not been briefed by the White House?
It makes sense now.
Of course. I know. I just can't tell you.
Will Smith's an alien. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
Oh, man. My son, every conspiracy theory, anything you throw at him, he loves it, believes it. And
how old is Jaden now?
13.
Wow, really?
He's 13, yeah. So he is.
You're not going to hold him down. He's going to ask what he wants.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What do you think about? I know you didn't hear it. So basically, Will Smith was talking to this host, and the host was like, so, you know, what happened when you went to the White House? And he said, well, when we went to the White House, Jaden was there, everybody was there, and his son asked him, I'm gonna, talk to the president and ask him if there's aliens. And Will Smith was like, hey, don't ask the president if there's aliens. Don't ask him that. And so when he gets there and he talks to, it was Barack Obama, and he talks to him, he comes to his dad, he comes to Will Smith, and he goes, Dad, if I ask him, what's my punishment? So he goes, don't ask him. So before he can even let out, don't ask him, he asked him, and Barack Obama said, I can neither confirm or deny that there's aliens out there, but if there were to be aliens out there, I can tell you, and there was a meeting about it, I can tell you it happened in this office right here. And then Will Smith goes on talking to the host of the show, and he goes, well, the host asks him, like, hey man, what do you believe? What do you think? You make all these movies. And he goes, man, I can tell you this. He was like, we make these movies, and I know stuff, but I can't tell you. I'm not going to tell you in so many words. Mm-hmm. So you're listening to this, T. You're hearing this. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think with his kind of like nonchalant omission?
The presidents are told on a need-to-know basis. He wouldn't know much about that anyway, because that's not on his plate. He doesn't need to know about that.
I disagree.
I
think that they do know. I think that there's been books that I've read in there where there's like,
how come they not on the news? How come it's not in a zoo? How come it's not in a zoo on display?
I think they may have some indication of knowledge, but
you seen with the last president.
I think it's plausible deniability, and I think
they're all lying. No. They're all lying. They ain't gonna tell us the truth.
I disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. The last president that wanted to tell the truth, he was assassinated. He was
gonna tell the truth. That's why they killed him.
But that's what I'm saying.
Why do you think the other one's still alive? Because they know how to lie. They're like poker players.
But that's what I just said, fool. I said that they do I think they do know the information, but I think they have that picture of John F. Kennedy up in the office. Like, if you ever tell on us, he's right there. You see him every day. You see what happened to him.
I think John F. Kennedy probably found out on the fluke, and now all the information that the presidents get is on a need-to-know basis.
I don't think so.
If they need to know it, they'll know it. If they don't need to know it, they ain't gonna know.
I guess we'll find out when Trump gets out of office, because he's supposed to be writing a tell-all.
Look,
everything.
Look, you guys. I believe that the truth is in the middle, and I believe that they may have a need-to-know basis, but I also believe that loose lips sink ships. And when I say that, I mean people are talking within their circles. And when you talk in circles like that, you're going to hear information whether you want to or whether you don't want to. And I think that to that statement that they know something. Like I was listening to Dr. Stephen Alan Greer, and he said he went to go brief the White House, and at that time it was President Bill Clinton, and he said, Bill Clinton wanted me to brief him on the aliens. And Dr. Stephen Alan Greer said, why would you want me to brief you on the aliens, Mr. President? He said, and the president's secretary said, look, we don't need you to brief us on if aliens exist. I already know they exist. He said, I need to know why I don't have access to that. I need to know why I don't have access to the information. So I believe they know. I believe that there are documents that are passed around. But when you're talking, what you're talking about, the deep, dark budget secrets and stuff like that, that stuff is on a need-to-know basis. I don't think they know about that stuff.
I agree with that, but I agree that they do know of something. I don't think you can just be freaking blind to it.
You can't hide that information. I mean, when you're spending $22 million, or was it $1 million of
government funding
or whatever for the Advanced Threat Identification Program with Luis Alazan, and it's being used through our taxes. that has to go through a lot of different hands.
A lot of signatures have to be on that
A lot of
paperwork.
signatures have to be signed. So people are talking within those circles here, and they know something. They may not know the deep dark stuff, but they know something. Now, I wanted to actually go ahead and play this video really quick, and then I think we're going to end really shortly after that here, because we're going into an hour already, and I didn't even realize it was an hour. But I want to play this video, and the reason why I want to play this video here is because Barack Obama was actually on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and Jimmy Kimmel was actually asking him about aliens and if they were going to release information in reference to it. And Obama was really playful in the beginning, but if you look at him, he starts to get a little flustered, like not really flustered like angry, but flustered like he doesn't know how to respond. And I mean, you guys have to think about it from this perspective. Barack Obama always has his game face on. When have you ever seen or saw Barack Obama get flustered to the point to where he doesn't have a response? There's been times I've seen hecklers actually at his speeches, and Barack Obama is cool, calm, and collective. But in this particular conversation right here, he was not prepared. And I want to show you guys, and I want you to tell me what you think. Check it out.
So this is something I feel like if I was the president, and it's unlikely that that is ever going to happen.
You never know.
If I was the president...
It was unlikely that I was going to be president.
The moment I was inaugurated, my hand would just, it'd still be hot from touching the Bible, and I would immediately race to wherever they have the files about Area 51 and the UFOs, and I go through everything to find out what happened.
Right.
Did you do that?
That's why you will not be president. Because that's the first thing that you would do.
It's at
the aliens won't let it happen.
Now watch
all
this.
their secrets.
He's joking.
They exercise strict control over us.
Now, you know, there are a lot of people that are going to examine your facial expressions here, every twitch, everything, and say, and of course, so did you look? Did you see? Did you explore?
I can't reveal anything.
Oh, really? Because President Clinton said he did go right in, and he did check, and there was nothing.
Well, you know, that's what we're instructed to say.
All right. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Are you sad that the video...
Talk to me, you guys. Come on now.
They're poker players. It's like playing poker.
I think he know better.
It's like playing poker. He's bluffing. He ain't gonna tell the truth. He ain't gonna say nothing.
Remember what I said? He know better. He know that picture was on the wall, and once you see the face of
thinking about that
assassinated
John F.
president,
Kennedy picture?
Yep. Every time he had to walk by that every single day, and not only that, you had to walk by Abraham Lincoln. You see what people do when they be tripping.
That's very true.
You have a couple of presidents on the wall that have been assassinated for doing or saying or wanting to do the right thing.
And apparently, the right thing is the thing that you're not supposed to do. In the land of the free and the home of the brave, y'all, I think we are going to leave it at that, sign off with that. I want everyone on here to actually go ahead and take a look, really dig deep into this, and actually check out some of the books that we recommended to you. I myself would recommend that you actually go ahead and check out the None Dare Call It Conspiracy book. The True Israelite would recommend that you check out, what's the book again?
Behold a Pale Horse.
And
the author name is William Cooper.
Okay, and the book that you got me, babe, what was that?
It's the Majestic Documents. Inside there, they talk about the Akashic Record. They talk about all kinds of things that you would never think they would talk about.
Okay, I would suggest you check those books out, wake your game up, get on our level, and actually and just be informed. With that being said, I want everybody to actually go ahead and sign off. I am your boy, Say One History, on The Awaken Show. We got none other than
True Israelite
and
The Skeptic.
Chanel. And we are going to let you guys go We will talk to you later. We really appreciate y'all. Take care. Peace, y'all.